All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first meeting of our Leaders of Tomorrow program. On my screen, you can see our agenda. This is what we will cover today. But before we get started, I want to do some introductions. So I will first turn it over to our Leaders of Tomorrow co-chairs who will be seeing you through this program for the rest of the year. And on, we have, I believe, Miss Shanae Blunt. Are you there?
Yes, sir, I am here.
Oh, hey, Shanae, good morning. And
Good morning.
we have Miss Yasmin Sabu as well. Good morning. You're on mute if you...
Sorry about that. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so let's get started. Miss Blunt, would you like to give us a little bit of an introduction about you? Tell us what you do and your involvement in the chapter.
Sure. My name is Shanae Blunt. I am the LOT chair. However, with the pandemic and everything, things have gotten off to a slow start. However, with technology and Zoom and team meetings and all that good stuff in the world, having an opportunity to open back up slowly but surely, I'm super duper excited to get back into the swing of things and get our LOT students moving and get the program moving in the direction in which it was intended to. Meaning that we can get our meetings going back and our activities going, our competitions and contests and student involvement. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. My background is currently, right now, I'm an entrepreneur and I deal in contracts and a little bit of other things in business, but I don't want to bore you guys with my bio and background, but just know that in this moment, my concentration is definitely lended towards the LOT program with the DC Black MBA Association. I did join MB. How long ago? I joined a few years ago, and I came in while I was in grad school. I was a little bit of a sponge. I hung out in the background. I listened to a few things, the presentations and things like that. And when the LOT chair position program became available, I was super excited because I've always worked with youth. My background there is working a lot in like church ministry, youth ministry, and things like that. I also did workforce development with Goodwill for a few years and helping young people develop their resumes and job readiness skills. So with all that said, I will pass it along.
Thank you so much, Ms. Blunt. And now I want to turn over to the next co-chair of the Leaders of Tomorrow program, who is Ms. Yasmin Sabu. And Ms. Sabu is actually one of our Leaders of Tomorrow alums, and she'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But Ms. Sabu, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Yasmin Sabu. As Lamar stated, I am actually a graduate of the Leaders of Tomorrow program. And when I finished college at the great Florida A&M University, I came back to the DC area and got involved again with the Leaders of Tomorrow and officially joined the Black MBA. I have served on the board for several years, and I've been around the organization for well over 10 years now. I feel so old, but it's been a great experience, and I can't wait to tell you guys about my personal experience with Leaders of Tomorrow. So I'm really excited to be taking on this role as co-chair, and I'm excited to have meetings, introduce you to amazing speakers, have great activities as safely as we can. But as far as what I'm doing now, career-wise, I'm an assistant manager for a commercial property management firm, and I do a lot of other fun activities outside of my regular day job. So I'm excited to introduce some of those things to the students and just show them their potential in this world.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And my name is Lamar White. I currently serve as the president of the DC Black MBA Association. And I will take this opportunity to let you know that we are an award-winning chapter. We just got the 2021 Chapter of the Year award at our past conference in Chicago, Illinois, not too long ago. So getting involved in this chapter means you'll be getting involved in an award-winning chapter, and we're super excited about that. I've been a part of the chapter since 2016, when I moved to the DMV area from San Francisco. And I've served in a number of roles in the organization. I started out as the membership chairperson. Then I became the vice president of administration. And then in 2019, I took over I was elected. I didn't take over. I was elected to serve as the president of the organization. And then in 2020, I was reelected to serve as the president for the 2021-2022 calendar years. By day, I currently work as a diversity, equity, and inclusion strategist for the search company, Google, which many of you may have heard about. And my portfolio is specifically focused on racial equity. So I look at programming to ensure that Black Googlers are treated fairly and equitably within the company. And I also focus on allyship. So making sure that those folks who are not Black but want to support our Black Googlers have the tools necessary to be better and to be better allies to Black Googlers. So that's a little bit about me. I believe we have one student on today. I'm not sure, maybe two, Jacqueline Jones, and I see Joan 101. But I'll turn it over to you all to just give introductions about yourself.
Hello, I'm Giovanni. That's just what I go by on iPad. But I'm a senior in high school. I go to Good Counsel in Maryland, and really glad to be here.
Cool, wonderful. Thank you so much. And again, we're recording this. This is just our introductory meeting. I know some of our students weren't able to make it today. We will get the dates out so that folks can put it on their calendars and come to future meetings. With that, I want to turn it over to Ms. Sabu, and Ms. Sabu is going to tell us about her experience in the Leaders of Tomorrow program. Ms. Sabu.
So I had a wonderful time as a student in the Leaders of Tomorrow program. I believe I started when I was about 7th or 8th grade in the program. And during that time, the meeting just felt like it was a business in a way, but in the most fun way as possible. So we actually used to meet at the PwC building in DC, and it was literally in a boardroom, and all the different students, we all had different leadership titles. So there was a CEO of the group, there was COO, VP of, community service. So we all had different titles, which was actually really good looking back at it now, because it held us accountable to the different things that we were doing. And it really allowed the students to be full participant in the different activities that we were doing. So we did things like, community service. We participated in competitions such as the National Case Competition. And that competition specifically was a really amazing one, and I got to compete in it. And so the way it works with the case competition is you're given a case. So it's usually, an actual case competition that talks about, basically a business is having some form of a problem, and the students have to come together to solve it. And it's very detailed. You do have to really dig into the financials of the company. You have to come up with a real world solution. And it was my first exposure at the business world, and being part of the Leaders of Tomorrow program, it really solidified my interest in studying business. And I went on to attend Florida A&M University, which even my choice in that university in particular was kind of inspired by the mentors that were around me. A lot of the mentors in the program at the time were FAMU graduates, so they left a great impression on me as far as the quality of education that I would receive at FAMU. And of course, I got to meet, a lot of students from all walks of life, because they weren't all, just from the school that I was attending. They were from schools in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So we all used to come together to meet every other Saturday. And in between those Saturdays, we did things like SAT prep. We did community service with various nonprofit organizations. And of course, one of the best things about the organization is when I graduated, I came out of the program with some money to help me with school. So because I participated in the case competition, I received some money towards my education from that, and from various activities throughout the program. I think one of the things that I did and did after the competition, after the my time with LOT, was the oratorical competition. So I actually won the oratorical competition, I think about 3 years in a row while I was a student. And then once I came back to volunteer with the organization, I really helped with, making sure that competition, kept going, and training students with their public speaking, speech giving, and things like that. So it was such a wonderful time for me. And I constantly talk about the organization wherever I go. And that's why I'm always willing to come back and to give my time to LOT in particular.
Cool, wonderful. Thank you for that. So next we're going to jump into a little bit about the programming, and then we will discuss expectations. Leaders of Tomorrow is really focused on 4 pillars. We have leadership, financial literacy, college prep, and career prep. And I'll have Yasmin and Shanae help with some of these. But under leadership, we really want to develop our students to become the best possible leaders, because when you leave our program and you go off to college, we want you to be leaders in your various colleges that you go off to. We hope that you will choose an HBCU. And if you don't know what that is, that's a historically Black college and university. We hope you will choose one of those. If you don't, we'll still support you, and we still want you to succeed. We want you to be leaders as you go on through your academic career. And even after that, we want that the skills that you've learned in our program to continue with you throughout your careers, such as Ms. Sabu and Ms. Blunt, how they are leaders in their respective fields. So we'll really help develop you into leaders. As Ms. Sabu mentioned, we usually have our students take on various roles within the organization. So you may be the CEO, you may be the vice president of membership, you may be the vice president of community service. And I know that schools now have the community service requirement back in place, even though it's still COVID. So we will be looking at doing some community service hours. By being in those roles, you get to lead the chapter and help shape the future of the chapter, because we do get our students to help with the programming for the rest of the year. So you will learn leadership skills that way. As Ms. Sabu said, part of leadership is also being able to speak and present. So you'll have plenty of opportunities at the various meetings to be able to present to your fellow cohort members and also to larger audiences. So we will be having an oratorical competition, which is slated for this year, and we will invite our students to participate in that. And you're not just getting up and speaking, you're speaking for money. So we will have prize money available to those that participate in the oratorical competition. And for that one, you'll actually get to speak to a larger audience, because we're inviting some other organizations to participate in the oratorical competition. You'll also get to do the case study, as Ms. Sabu mentioned. So we will have our own case competition within the chapter. You will get prize money for participating in that as well. And then next year, in 2022, you'll also have the opportunity to participate in the national case competition, where you come together with various students from around the country involved in other Leaders of Tomorrow programs, and you compete against them. And it's a super fun time. You get to, hopefully we'll get to travel in 2022 to that particular case competition and leadership summit. The last 2 years, unfortunately, 2020, 2021, it was virtual given the COVID environment, but we have our fingers crossed that we'll be able to come together as a group in 2022, because our students find it so valuable. They come together, they meet, there are hundreds of students there, so you get to meet folks that will become your lifelong friends, and you get to discover a new city, and that trip is usually fully paid by the chapter. So you and your families usually do not have to come out of your pockets with any money to experience that leadership summit that we put on for our Leaders of Tomorrow students at a national level. And you keep hearing me say prize money, prize money. That money you accumulate, we don't give it to you immediately, but you will accumulate that money and it will be paid out to you in the form of a scholarship once you enroll in a university or a college pursuing a degree program. And that could be an associate degree or a bachelor's degree. We send that money to you to contribute toward your educational expenses. And we'll be mentors to you as well. So throughout the program, you'll see various people come in, members of our organization, and they will mentor you and try to prepare you to be the best you that you possibly can. We also have some really strong backing from organizations. So it's not just us here talking to you. A lot of companies out there actually support our Leaders of Tomorrow program. Believe it or not, Morgan Stanley, which is a really large financial institution, they just gave our National Leaders of Tomorrow program, so all of the chapters in the United States of America, $500,000 to support our programming. And then USAA came in and gave our National LOT program $400,000 to support programming. So we have lots of companies coming in, believing in our program, believing in you, our students, and supporting your development. At the local level, which is the Washington, D.C. chapter, we do have a major sponsor by the name of Raymond James Financial, and you'll get to meet them as well throughout the program, because they will come in and do some webinars on financial literacy, which I'll talk about next. And they have injected significant financial resources into providing scholarships for our students as well. And just by being a part of the program, you will get scholarship money. So we do hope that you'll participate in the oratorical competition. We hope you'll participate in the case competition. But even if you don't, just by being a part of the program, being an active participant in the program, you will earn scholarship money for that. I'll talk a little bit more about the pillars, and then I'll turn over to Ms. Blunt and Ms. Sabu if they have anything else to add. But financial literacy is the next area that we will focus on. As I mentioned, Raymond James Financial, which is a wealth planning company based in St. Petersburg, Florida. They'll be coming in to do some sessions for you, and they'll be looking at personal financial management. They'll be looking at helping you manage college debt, just in case you do incur any debt. We hope that you'll be debt-free when you go to college and that you'll come out debt-free. But just in case you need to take out any loans or your family needs to take out any loans, they'll talk a little bit about how to manage that and make sure that you're not in over your heads when you come out of college. We'll talk a little bit about credit as well. They'll do some sessions on that because you're at that stage now where you'll probably start, you need to really build up your credit if you haven't done so already. So they'll talk about managing that. And just in general, some investments, how you make investments. Because I always tell folks, one of the mistakes I made is I did not start investing at a young age. And so I'm constantly playing catch up. And we want to teach you from now how to invest so you can get started and prepare yourselves for your future. A little bit about college prep. Our program is primarily focused on getting you to college. We want you to go to college, and we want you to get a degree, and we want you to be successful. I do want to say going to college is not the only path to being successful. There are lots of entrepreneurs out here that you know about that haven't actually gone to college. But we do know that for many other people, going to college, getting a college degree is a path to success. And we want, if that's your desire, to aid you in going to college, getting a degree, and setting you on a path for success. So we'll look at various academic success programs. We'll do some SAT preparation sessions for you with our partner, Johns Hopkins University. And we'll also do a college tour. So we usually take our students on a tour to visit various HBCUs so that you can see what those universities are about, get information, learn about their financial aid process, learn about their admissions process, learn about, I almost said fraternity, but that too, fraternity and sorority life, learn about student life, whatever it is that you're interested in finding out, you can get that information when you go on the college prep tour. And then lastly, career prep. We're gonna start teaching you how to be successful at interviewing. We're gonna help you get together your resume. We're gonna teach you the value and how to properly network. Lots of information on career prep. Even though your next step may be going to college, I know a lot of you will be doing some internships. So you do need to interview and you do need to have a resume in order to get an internship. So we will start the process of preparing you on how to interview, how to have a solid resume, and prepare yourselves for the career field. All right, so those are our 4 pillars that we'll prepare you for in this program. Again, leadership, financial literacy, college prep, and career prep. And now I'll turn it over to see if Ms. Sabu or Ms. Blunt, if you have anything else to add there.
I think you actually covered a lot. So I'm just really excited to get started and to start having meetings. And I know one thing that I always enjoyed about the Leaders of Tomorrow is that to teach you a lot of these different things, we don't only rely on our own education and experience, but we do always reach out to our networks, and we consistently bring in speakers that are, you know, other Black MBA members, or maybe someone that we may know within our networks or within the companies that we've worked with, to come in to speak to the students about, you know, about the college application process, about, you know, trying to find a major that is right for you, and also about, you know, these different things such as, you know, the financial literacy, you know, taking SAT or ACT or whatever standardized testing you're preparing for. So I am really excited to get started and to start working with the students one-on-one on all of these different areas.
Ms. Blunt, do you want to tell us what inspired you to become an entrepreneur? How did you get on that journey? Because one of the things that we will be focused on in the program as well is entrepreneurship, because as I told you, there are many paths to success. One of them is you can go to school, go to college, get a degree, and go work for a company. Or the other path, which a lot of successful people follow, such as Ms. Blunt, is you become an entrepreneur, run your own company. So Ms. Blunt, you want to tell us what influenced you into becoming the successful entrepreneur that you are today?
My personal experiences, when I was working for someone else, I grew my customer base beyond what the store offered. So I could only, you know, take my clients and service my customers based on, you know, honestly, the restrictions that were placed on me from someone else. But I had quite a few clients and customers that wanted to be serviced on days where that were convenient for them. To be very honest, I was available, but the owner did not want to open up on those days. So as an entrepreneur, you know, some people are able to, you know, jump directly into their craft and make it something successful. But then for others, you know, it might take You have to take the time to build your clientele, your customer base, learn some additional skills, and develop yourself as a person. And then, leap when you have that support system or that structure in place. So when I did leave the business where I was, I expanded my business and offered a 7-day-a-week operation. But what I thought about before I left, I thought to myself, I can't be the only one who is missing out on customers, on weekends, on Sundays and Mondays when the business is closed. So I developed a business model that would create opportunities for others. So I think one of the most important things in entrepreneurship is to build a self-sustaining business for you and your family. And when the opportunity creates itself, always reach out to someone else and be a bridge for someone else. So that's what I did. I built my business model around what I needed to support myself and my family. And then I thought to myself, when I was at this point in my career years prior, what could I have benefited from? So I made the leap and I left about 6 years ago. My current location where I am now, I literally just celebrated 5 years last week. And entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart by any means, but when you grow beyond your environment, sometimes it's important to take that leap and, create your own opportunity. So.
Cool. Thank you very much, Ms. Blunt, for that. And congratulations on 5 years. Ms.
Thank
Blunt
you,
has
sir.
a beautiful salon, and depending on when you're watching this video, the date might be different, but we are going to be doing a barbershop talk at the beautiful salon that Ms. Blunt has tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, we'll make that recording available so you can see some of the programming that we do at the chapter level for our members of the National Black MBA Association DC chapter. So now I want to get into a little bit about expectations, and I'll ask both Ms. Sabu and Ms. Blunt to help me with that. But expectations, we will send you all the meeting dates in advance. And I had 2 of the meeting dates up on the agenda. The next meeting dates will be October 9th and October 23rd. Our meetings will run 2 hours from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. And we do expect our members to try to attend all of our meetings. We do understand that sometimes there will be reasons why you cannot attend, other obligations. And we just ask that you let us know when you won't be in attendance at particular meetings. However, as I mentioned before, we do give out scholarship money for active participation in the program. So simply signing up and never showing up won't garner you any scholarship dollars. We do need students to actively participate. And again, I know that there were some students that were interested, and we will follow up to make sure that you get all the information that you need for future meetings. Our program also runs where you will join the program. We will start preparing you with various speakers, various sessions, prepare you with our public speaking. Various components of the program we'll start preparing you for. And then we will require you to go through a formal process, which we will probably execute in December to become a full member of the Leaders of Tomorrow program. So we really want to make sure that students that are joining the program are serious about being a part of the program and that they want to benefit from all of the programming that we bring to them. So we do have kind of a preliminary program where you, again, we prepare you to be full members of the organization. And then we ask you to demonstrate that you're ready to be full members of the Leaders of Tomorrow program. And the reason we do that is because, again, we have very large companies. Raymond James Financial, I mentioned, is one of them. Marriott is another big one. The Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, is another huge sponsor of our organization. And they put up money for you, and they want to make sure that they are contributing to your success and that you're serious about your success before they give their money to students. So that's why we do the preliminary process and then admit you to full membership of the Leaders of Tomorrow program. So you'll have more information about that coming at our next session on October the 9th. Again, Ms. Blunt and Ms. Sabu will be your fearless leaders of the program. And we're still figuring out who will be at what meetings. Sometimes you'll see both of them. Sometimes you'll just see one of them, but you'll always see at least one person or one adult, I should say, at the meetings. We do lead busy lives like you do and like your parents do. And that's why you won't see everyone at every single meeting. But again, they will always be there at least one of the meetings, and they'll be available to you offline as well, because Ms. Blunt and Ms. Sabu will be serving as mentors to you throughout this program and ensuring your success as you move through the program. And we'll introduce you to other mentors as well, because each student will have his or her own mentor. All right. Ms. Sabu or Ms. Blunt, any other expectations that I'm missing out on?
Nope, I think you got it.
Like, like she said, I think we're all covered. You have such a big smile.
All right, thank you so much. So I was going to do a student discussion, but since there's only one person on today, we will skip that. But we'll go ahead and just do the final wrap up. And again, we'll follow up with other students to make sure that they are here and ready to kick the program off on October the 9th. But I think you said your name was Giovanni. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Yep. Do you have any questions for us?
No, not as of right now. So I'm good for now.
All right. And which school do you go to?
I go to Good Counsel in Only.
Okay.
Maryland.
Got it. Really cool. All right. Well, any last words, Miss Blunt?
Just looking forward to working with the team and working with the students. And Giovanni, if you have any friends that are interested in participating, definitely feel free to welcome them and invite them along on the journey. There'll definitely be more students and other students than yourself, so don't be worried about being the Lone Ranger in the group.
Thank you, Ms. Blunt. Ms. Sabu, any last words before we wrap it up?
No, just excited to get started. And I think we have a question. I think I see a hand raised.
Oh, I think, Giovanni, did you raise your hand? Did you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. We saw a hand raised. And you are under the name Jacqueline Jones, correct?
No, I'm under Joan.
Yes, hi.
101.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Jacqueline this is Jacqueline, his mom. How are you?
Oh, cool. Sorry. Hey, Jacqueline, how are you?
Thank you. I'm great, thank you. I have 2 questions, please.
Sure.
Can you tell me what the timeline of the college tour is? Is it going to be like in the spring or the fall, or
it'll be in the
sense
spring.
of when that happens?
It'll be in the spring.
Okay.
Yeah. So once we meet with all of our students that are going to be in the program, we'll try to figure out schedules and all that good stuff. And it's usually over a weekend, so we'll probably leave. And it does involve overnight stay, so we'll probably leave like a Thursday or Friday, and be back by the Sunday. So we'll have to coordinate that with students and parents, and but it typically is in the spring.
All right, and then actually I have 3 questions. What's the timeline for this program? Is it October through May next year, or is it? You mentioned December. I heard that as being like the official part that you get accepted. But when does it go through?
Sure. So the official program will be from October through May. However, there are some components of the program that will go through the summer as well. So we don't have our formal meetings like we are doing now and in October during the summer, but the programs such as the Leadership Summit and the case competition, those do occur over the summer months. So they'll probably go to the Leadership Summit in, I want to say, May or June timeframe. We don't know what the location of that yet is, or if it'll be virtual. And then, yeah, we do have some other programming that we'll do, which is usually optional over the summer months, because we know that students are going to be probably working, some of them will be traveling. So we try to limit the activities we do during those months.
Okay, thank you. And then the sessions are all virtual, is that right? The 10 to 12?
For now, there will be
Over
all
there.
virtual.
Okay.
You know, we do want to kind of get back in person because the students, they love seeing each other and interacting, and our speakers like to come in and see the students. But until it's safe to do that, they will be virtual.
Okay, and I assume that you have people from last year who are rolling back into this year, is that right?
We do not, because they all graduated.
Oh, okay, I
Yes,
see.
we're coming in with a complete.
So on average, how many people do you typically have for the program?
Typically, we cap it at 20 members. So our last cohort, which ended earlier this year, graduated 15 students.
Okay.
Yeah. For this cohort, we had 10 interested students. Many of them couldn't attend today, but we'll be following up with them to make sure they can attend the rest of our meetings. And then we'll be doing some more recruiting as well. So if you know anyone else that's interested, we're definitely open up to a maximum of 20. So we have at least 10 more spots left. Okay,
thank you. And then I'm sorry, one last question. You mentioned volunteer opportunities. What types of volunteer opportunities do you typically do, and when will those start?
Yeah, so we are planning 2 of them coming up. One's going to be in November, one's going to be in December. So I'll tell you about one we did earlier. For Juneteenth, we partnered with our sponsor, Raymond James Financial, and we actually assembled food kits with dry foods to go out to families in need in the Prince George's County area. So we actually went to, I'm forgetting the official name of it, but we went to an organization that's actually associated, it's a nonprofit, but it's associated with the court system in PG County. And we went there, we assembled the food baskets, and then had them delivered out to families in need. Coming up in November, we're going to do another food drive, and we're partnering with the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity group to do that food drive. And that's going to be around the Thanksgiving time. And then in December, we're actually going to be doing a toy drive, and that's going to be with the Kappa fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi. So we'll do that in December. And then we'll also be planning our own volunteer activity for MLK Day in January. So those are, we haven't decided what that's going to be yet, because we need to do that with our partner, Raymond James. But those are 3 opportunities that we have coming up for volunteerism. All right. Do you have any other questions?
No, thank you. That was very helpful. I appreciate that.
Sure, you're welcome. And feel free to email us if anything else pops up. We'll be happy to answer any other questions that you have. I forgot, Ms. Sabu, did we do your last words? I think we did, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, that's it for this morning. This will probably be the only short session that we have. The others, again, will be 2 hours in length, from 10 to 12. On the days that we do meet. And we have some exciting speakers coming in. I know we already have Raymond James Financial, as I mentioned, that they want to come in and do some financial literacy sessions. And that's actually going to be a much bigger session. because we're inviting students from all over the country to join for that. But we'll also have some more intimate sessions with just the DC cohort coming up, and Ms. Blunt and Ms. Sabu will send out information about who those speakers are and what the topics will be. So if anything pops up, feel free to email us. My email is president@dcblackmbaa.org. And that's MBAA, meaning Master of Business Administration. And the last A stands for association. But please feel free to email me. Ms. Blunt, do you want to give them your association email? I believe it's leadersoftomorrow@dcblackmbaa.org.
I'm going to go with that one. Yes.
And
It's so long.
And Ms. Sabu, yours is?
Mine is LOT co-chair 2@dcblackmbaa.org.
Wonderful. And we will also send those emails out so you have them. You don't have to memorize them. But thank you so much for joining this morning, for taking the time. We look forward to meeting all of you at our next meeting on October the 9th. And we'll be sending out information very soon on what that agenda will look like. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.